thing, like, everyone has a chance to.
Absolutely, everyone has a chance. Why words indeed. Thank you very much, Blake, for the interview. Now back to you, Zeke, on the desk.
Thank you so much. Blake, you are absolutely incredible. Never forget it. Now, I'm getting word we are standing by with Adam and Kelly. Hey, what do you two have?
We have so much for you here, guys. We have had a lot of action thus far. 9 games gone, 3 to go. 27 countries, 7 regions. FNCS Invitational 2022. Only 3 games left.
Yeah.
But
it's
everyone, before we can get
hope
into
you
game
love
number
this.
10, we're gonna need your help.
Yeah.
Because the players
you
need
like
to
the
hear
stream.
you. The world needs to hear you.
Yeah.
So we need to make some noise on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had some games I had to play. So,
We call excitement, energy,
Hope you
and
like it.
everything more in the room.
Yeah, the arena is just impeccable right now, waiting for the moment that we crown an FNCS Invitational champion, but we got a few more games to go.
That is right, and we are getting the taste, and here it is. It's the battle bus. Sounds like it is ready. We get to gear up for game 10, and this is going to be an important game. We have had this extended break. They have gotten the chance to sit down and really strategize, think about the way they want to approach this next half, and it's all or nothing now.
Yeah, big change-up of zones from day number 1 to day number 2. But for some of these teams at the top, Trippin, Thomas, Cammy, Seti, include at the top Queasy and Vino, nothing has really changed. They've stayed consistent through and through, and they are your front runners right now. But like Blake said in that interview, you cannot count anyone out. I bring flashbacks to Chapter 3, Season 3, NA East, where Commander Avery started day number 2 in 9th place and had an ending of a lifetime.
That is right. Well, there are just 3 more games in front of us as we are now kicking this off. Mr. Savage and iDrop are going for an extremely wide split here, giving respect and distance to Onwon and Baka, who have had quite the day, if we do say so ourselves, putting up the performance. You can see they've really earned the respect here at Chrome Jam Junction. Early on, of course, we got to talk to iDrop, and all he had to say was, hey, I've been uncontested. I absolutely feel extremely confident here, but that has changed so far.
Yeah, with the FNCS Invitational, this is where worlds collide. In last game, we saw an early game drop from Booga and Mero, and shots already being fired off by Vortexers. But Bevies, he takes a huge amount of damage. Mero gets targeted. He is going to be the first one down from this duo, leaving a ton of pressure on Booga's shoulders.
Yeah, what's crazy about this is they have just switched up the strategy all the way and have decided they are just going to contest Booga and Mero. Cut their chances at performing any kind of comeback story here and earn themselves a real drop. That's some of the things you have to weigh, right? These are the decisions you have to make. There's nothing wrong with getting a side drop, a split drop, but realistically, if you want to win, you need to have winning loot. Trunkers has got it.
Yep, going over to Grim Gables, a fight that we know oh so much off spawn. Larson and Smite, they have the majority of the victories over here, but last game you saw them kind of disengage, not really take that fight, but a fight that we know so well. Cold and Scented taking down Raze, and you gotta imagine Pars was there to follow. Both of them sent back to the lobby. The NA East duo starting off game number 10 hot.
That's crazy because we haven't seen them actually contest them in that way, so they are mixing it up. And for them to do that tells us, hey, let's play for first. We want to play for points. Let's play for first. We got to close that gap. We need elims.
And for Scented and Cold, a couple second place finishes, close calls right there, really smelling and tasting what could be theirs, but falling short a few times. Larson and Smite, they know how bad it was to disengage before. They want to be able to try to take this one, but 2 separate 1v1 fights. It's all about the individual in a duo competition.
Meanwhile, I saw Vino find an elim as well in the feed, so our first place team already picking up the pace as well. Onto Atlas. Shots on the other side though. Muzz putting up a great defensive attempt here, but Larson is hurt. Not looking good for Smite and Larson right now, Jacob.
Yeah, he's trying to backtrack, box to box, that individual fight. They want to bring it back to the duo. They don't want to let one person really decide everything as Muzz and Blue. They have the advantage. They have the high ground builds and piece control going over, but a huge shot to really back them up and stabilize right now for Smite and Larson are doing everything they can to fight back from the low ground.
Not looking too hot right now from Buzz as he has to reset. Starting to run low on the heels there as well for a second. And again, Alice, the full finish there in the feed, so Vino does find himself a set of points. Smite and Larson, one of the few duos from NA that have managed to put up an exceptional performance this week. And if there is any takeaway here, it is that every region has such standout performers on this international stage. I am sure there have been such surprises, great surprises this weekend that have been revealed for us.
Yeah, you can see this one being another prolonged fight. More teams slowly but surely rotating in this direction, trying to go ahead and get their own Storm Surge, so it's not going to be a worry later on in the game as Larson and Smite trying to fight around, keep control of the pieces. Luder doing what he can. You see flashes coming out. A lot of their resources, Monster, being used very, very early.
Yeah, definitely. You can see they're going to double down, start to farm up some material here. This will make a difference. Larson going for the wall take, has to be careful. That is a 2v1 peek. This is one of the most dangerous things you can do, but there it is. Smite comes from the side there to back him up. Wasting no time there to fight back. Meanwhile, Ju, Yusri start to step on in. Remember, Ju and Yusri are contested by Alex and Bailey, but they have moved out of their drop spot a little early. Smite recognizes what's going on here, and all of a sudden, Larson also doubles down on the defensive maneuvers. Everyone will possibly have to get out of here now.
Yep.
And even then, I think there's an additional team putting their attention into the mix. There it is, shots from up above.
Yep, that's our team from the Copenhagen Flames. That's Pablo, Wingu, and Swag.
Wow.
They didn't have the best day number one, but looking to have a great day number two. Shots being fired on the Larson. Pablo picking up that elimination. And this is where it's going to get hectic because everybody also still has to rotate south to zone. And Bevy's in the elimination feed. He did take down Booga. That's not what you want to have happen. And even Mr. Savage getting dropped by Baka, the NA West duo rising to the top on day number two.
Yep, so fights are starting to conclude now. Tayson finds Aqua as well, so all of our contested drops are leaning towards a conclusion. KBR and Zeke, KBR by himself right now, our 5th place team currently in the back half here. Already has a big task in front of him. It's making up the points, and a much tougher one. We get to see how Booga was actually eliminated. Bevies and Vortex are just catch him, trying to escape. All the while, a tough day for Booga.
In comes Queasy and Vino flying high through the sky, watching all that action from Green Gables as the dust settles. And you can even see what their plan is. They know some action is down there, and they too want to take part. Their early game aggression on the back of Vino already netting themselves one elimination, but they know how stacked it has actually been. But Scented goes down. Scented goes down for the duo from OCE.
And do not forget, Scented and Cold are the highest current positioned NA East team. Cold is now by himself. This is a problem. The full thirst has already happened. This is a tough spot to be in for our young player, Cold. Cold, who has just had an exceptional year, being picked up by Scented, playing alongside one of the greats in our space, and trying to work his way up, earn his stripes throughout this scene. They are in 3rd place coming into Game 10, and what a position to be in to represent for your entire region.
And if there's any pressure right now, it is
Edge
solely on Cold's shoulders to stay alive. I said early on that at this point in time, with how stacked the top side of the leaderboard is, you cannot afford to have any sort of bad game.
Thatch, Pam still fall there too. Joe and Z Andy just looking around. NA East is getting chopped out of this lobby. But what stands true is Seti and Cammy alive right now, looking very well, baiting out potential opponents to fire inwards to see if they can entice someone to take a fight against them at longer ranges, of course.
That's what they do best, is Noah Riley trying to go ahead and sneak some shots from the bush. Him and Bad Sniper landing towards Tilted Tower. And for them, it's just about trying to get these angles. As they spot Epic well at the top, that's going to be one shot to kind of add to the total for them. As when it comes to loot, when it comes to positioning, they're not in such a bad spot, but they're also not in a spot to really find tag after tag. There was only such few teams near them actually in Tilted.
It's one of the best things we've seen from Thomas HD and Tripper in this weekend is that They have been probably the most malleable team, the most flexible team. Great tags here. Tripper manages to land on a rotating duo just in the distance there, but it just shows you they play so dynamic zone to zone. There is no same strategy, but they execute, and they've been executing all day long.
Consistency is key, and right now, see Clix and Duke going over towards Shimmer Shine. They got a knock-in elimination onto one, trying to hunt down that solo. Jace is gonna be that guy. And on the other end of him is Pink and Anas, the other team from Fort Jonesy. Duke gets the beast control, going right in, trying to take down Jace, who's trying to play the defense right here. Backs down just enough to buy himself some more time to try to stabilize, but we talked about the pressure of multiple teams looking to get this elimination.
And it's crazy. Their average placement has been around 22.6. It shows us that they are making it far every game, but they are just having a tough time around that halfway mark in the competition. Getting beyond that point is some of the most difficult parts of Fortnite. And if you're not executing perfectly, one mistake will cross you out.
Yeah, and you got to imagine that when you split Fort Jonesy, you're not really getting too much damage on Storm Surge. You're not getting the best loadout. You're forced to kind of either look for tags or look for any sort of some resources. Clicks, spotting out the tags coming from the bush, tries to fire back, not being able to connect with anything. But Duke, once again, trying to push up. This team is in complete focus mode, trying to take control of their destiny, shoot to the top of the leaderboards. And that is exactly what you have to do as the games are coming to a close.
Okay, Cold still alive right now, manages to put up a great defensive hold here. And it looks like they might have found an Elim along the way as well, or pushed off what was the opponents, and now the play to go ahead and get out and play for the reboot, play for the pickup. There's a med kit. He's got well-timed information of this entire area. And look at that. Scented will be rebooted. Our third place team have a chance in this game.
The crowd giving them some life as well. Let's see if they can take a page out of Asia's FNCS champion, Zagu and Miram. After their reboot, they ended up with a second place finish.
But hold that thought. Middle East has arrived. Falcon Spy and Bravado Focus is just nearby. They will absolutely know there's a player at the reboot. The information was perfectly handed to them. They have everything they need to execute an ambush. There it is. Spy opens up, and now it's his time to shine here. It's his moment. This is the first fight we get to see him kick it off. I've watched him in creative. He is gross, but can he hit the shots when it matters most? A worst case scenario is a scrappy player like Spy and Focus here looking to fight back. A huge one. Cold puts down Focus, though, in a great fight, and Cold is 1v2ing here, as he only has a little bit of loot, set to find something in the distance, comes back to support, and he's here! And they turn it around!
Make some noise for Eneis as Scented and Cold do it again. They have an entire region on their shoulders. So make sure we show them some love every single time, but for KBR, doing it for Brazil, 138 below the damage threshold for him. Getting that reboot if he tries is not going to be enough because so many teams are around. He needs to get damage all at the same time. His options are slowly closing.
I must say, that was so impressive. I haven't let it down just yet, but let's look at KBR here. He needs 160 damage to get safe here. He's only found 30. You need big tags. You cannot miss these. That's huge. There it is. Very nice, very nice. He sees another team in the distance. And look at this, turning up when it matters most.
Doing just enough, tag by tag, not getting too greedy. This is huge, 29 more, only 28 below. Popping the med miss, just trying to top himself off. The shots continue to get landed. KBR doing everything that he can, but you can see the numbers jumping, lowering in this lobby. Everybody taking part, but finally, the dust settles just enough. 2 above the damage threshold. That is the miracle KBR needed for now.
Now imagine if he hadn't found any tag, he would be hundreds below the safety line there. But instead, he gets active, he does enough. Cammy and Seti in a zone fight. This could be a defining moment. EU versus Asia now. Peppo and Runa. Absolute savages. You know, what we've seen this weekend is that Asia can hang with the best of the best. Do not count them out.
Can't count them out. Can't count them out at all, but it almost makes me wonder, are they suffering the surge? But Jace out of nowhere, trying to enter into the Fae. Basil was lost long ago, but Jace finally goes down. Peppo's going to be able to clean that one up. But Sammy, Cammy, and Seti getting the top once again. 657, finally leaving their drop spot. Literally on replay right now after every single game.
And this is what they do best now. They will play extremely passive. They don't need to do much. They will be fine damage-wise. All they have to do is focus on positioning. That will be the name of the game for them. And also, let's just talk about, finally, we get a little bit of a mix-up here. The zone pool south. There are new teams in this general area that need to step up. Vino doesn't care where it goes. He finds an elim in the feed, showing us that you can pull south, you can pull north. He's going to make the best of the situation.
Yeah, Noah Riley and Bad Sniper knows somebody is under pressure outside. Now, not only hear the storm surge, but see the shots getting fired off in the distance. Ed, that's a revive, and I think King is at least going to try and go for it. But Noah Riley and Bad Sniper are going to be the gatekeepers for them if they're trying to look for an exit.
What's crazy about that is Noah Riley and Bad Sniper have no idea that that is Ed and King right there. And yes, you might have assumed he saw the feed. Take a look at how Vino picked up his elimination. Just boxes up Janice like it's nothing and takes him right out the lobby. Look at his face. He knows for a fact that that was a huge elimination, and he made it look easy.
If anybody is full of confidence, it is Vino. 100%. You ask him who the best player in the world is, he's going to point at himself with 2 fingers, and honestly, it would be more if he had more.
No. Needed a clip to show you why. That's probably one of them.
On1 and Baka also getting busy. Belusi's going to go down. Cleaned up all together. A team from NA West, scrappy as can be, and that's why I kind of looked at them as a very under-the-radar team.
What a crazy reaction time there from Thomas HD to defend off Snacky's peak. He saw Thomas HD swinging a little wide there. Here's KBR still alive. Remember, he survived the storm surge with just excellent tags, and still, it seems like he may not have a reboot card to save his teammate, and now he has to rotate out. But we've seen some interesting stats. When you actually pick up your teammate, you have, believe it or not, lower chances as far as the stats go to place higher, and that's because more often than not, you are worried about splitting your loot, effectively lowering your chances. So he actually has a great odds right now, just playing by himself, play his game, play to the best of his ability.
Yeah, it's all about those solo points that you can get here in Game 10. And Scented and Cold coming back from the depths. That play, Cold, if anybody can do it, it is going to be him. And just hopefully they don't run out of gas, because right now they are in reach. You see it right there, 247 points in 3rd place. They still have a gap to close though, Monster.
And they are doing just that. I mean, they picked up those 2 elims on Spy and Focus. Again, you don't see a team get rebooted and just find points like that. This is an incredible situation that's unfolding for Cold and Sensed, like giving quite literally a second chance in this game here. But we have a zone that's going to start to play out now. Things are going to begin to constrict. The zone pulls east, and this is going to favor Cold and Scented perfectly. Cammy and Seti are already here as well. It couldn't get any better for them.
I like Cammy and Seti right now. The dust is settling. They're not getting overly aggressive, letting these opportunities naturally present themselves as they're gathering all that information. Walks, Robab in the distance, followed by Merstash and Malibu, who are a little separated. And in Vortex as well, looking good. 4 eliminations. Got to be feeling pretty confident when it comes to Storm Surge, especially since you're landing even more shots as players fly through the sky.
Showing you what that Hammer Assault Rifle can do once you let it rip. 2 of them in hand, big damage. Vortex and Hen. This has been a great day for Vortex and Hen.
Yeah.
We talk about a team that was well outside the top 15 and then just all of a sudden turn online, come in now, earning themselves a 5th place after several rounds today.
Robab goes down to Duke and Clicks. We're trying to make up that day number 1, trying to bolster their position as Merstash gets one as well. Avery and Commandment under pressure. They had a victory royale the day yesterday, trying to replicate that success today, but they become the focus of the lobby. All directions now joining in, but luckily for them, they have so much position here, so much control of these pieces, they can back out and still be safe.
I need someone to send Avery a tweet and just ask him, how does he play leaning with that posture? I'm so confused.
He's just chilling. He's vibed right now.
He is fully invested into the game. But here's Keto, the PH in. 300 above the surge and a very long rotate in front of them. Can they find a launch pad? Do they have something to work with here to get out of this spot? Little loot split for them.
Make sure everybody is good. Queasy and Vino looking like they got another elimination onto Alice, bringing their total to 4 in this game alone. Trying to run away with it, trying to build themselves the biggest cushion possible going in to what could be a big game number 12. And even though we didn't see it on screen, but let's see how Vino was able to get that kill.
He just continues to add more and more here. Adding up, Alice is gonna fall there. And it happens once again. So here it is, the half in, half out pulls far east. Cammy and Seti pull half in, half out. Are they destined to take it all away? Can they swing their way back over? Will it be cold and scented? They're one of the few there as well in the conversation here. Vico and Marai need to do more. 14 above is not going to be enough. He's going to slide right past Avery and Commandment. This is dangerous territory to be in. We all know you don't want to walk past enemy builds like that, but luckily they do not swing open, not worth the risk.
But if anybody's ready for that dangerous territory, it's Vico and Meringue. From the start of the game, every single game towards Reality Tree, they get busy very early and they're looking for the shots, looking for that piece control. And you see that duo that was once there, they just completely abandon that position. They don't want to risk it all too early in this game.
Macwood and Kanata on high ground. This is what we love to see. You know, you put them in a lobby like this, you expect a couple of games, maybe one, maybe two, to go this way. This is a high ground team. Now, the problem of today, or this weekend, has been these high ground teams haven't made it. We've only seen Aqua in a few end games, and whenever he is there, he's going for it. We've only seen Kanata maybe once or twice make an end game. Now he's going for it.
And you know what time it is right now. You know what time it is, right? 6 moving zone. Got them on the big screen. Queasy and Vino, this is where they typically always, and I mean always, at least try to make a play for the high ground. And I feel like they have the most success in the lobby so far when it comes to making those plays happen. But Sensen and Cold talked about the position they are. 3rd place on the leaderboard. Thomas and Tripper just a little bit above. 453 when it comes to that damage threshold for them. The only focus is getting to the next zone.
But their loot looks great. The launch pads in the inventory, they have everything they need. Queasy and Vino are playing such an interesting strategy. Late from behind, they try to swing all the way on in, and that is such an interesting way to play this one out, because what they want to do is allow the zone to pull very, very far, give them room, and then time that entrance. And now look at this. It puts them in a prime position to start eyeing and sizing up high ground. But Scented, Cold already there, beating them to the punch. Start to look in. Someone lands in the box. And Cold is possibly there to defend. Yes, he's still there. It's Avery who tries to land in the box. No, sir. That was a mistake.
And they instantly close in on him like a Venus flytrap as Queasy and Vino. They've done it yet again. They have that portion of the high ground, but you see they're staggering Vino back, wanting to let nobody get any opportunity to try to steal it away. And the only person that does gets taken down almost immediately, adding to their elimination total.
They're making it look easy. Seti and Cammy now also very much positioned to make another big endgame. 15 duos remaining here. Thomas HD and Trippin still have so much left in the tank as well, but they get broken down. Oh no, a great block there though. They were just one build away from potentially getting taken out the lobby. Too much shots starts to come in now. The focus is here. He has to swing around. This is looking terrible for our second place team. Trippin is nowhere to be found. Thomas hits the launch pad. He swings blast. High ground and Queasy and crew. And there it is. Trippin falls. Thomas is now by himself.
They're trying to go for the high ground right now, but Chapix is shut down. But Tayson's having to do it by himself. But Queasy, he's going to abandon it for now. Vino's going to follow suit. Shots coming in. This is huge. Chapix goes down, though. The refresh and the siphon is absolutely important. Tayson trying to break into the box, but he goes down. Vino and Queasy will not be denied.
And this is why they're some of the best. He was there to back him up. And it works out so well. Bevies and Vortexer from contesting Booga and Miro at the drop, running them out of Chonker Speedway, now running it up to the high ground here in an endgamer, looking like they want to take home their first victory of the weekend.
Down goes Vino. Down goes one member of the first place team.
To the hands of Cammy.
A chance right now for teams to try to overtake that top spot, and one of them is going to be Thomas HD as a solo. doing everything that he can, trying to move through the builds. He has enough resources to make it happen, but Queasy, no build to his name. 1v1 against Drew, but he gets taken down thanks to the storm.
And Thomas HD is still alive right now, clutching, which is so monumental as first place has finally fallen. They have a chance to earn some points here. Cold and Scented are still alive as well. Thomas HD needs to make up 15 points in order to close the gap here. Scented needs 30. That's a huge jump up. Cammy and Seti are also still alive right now. On the heel, so close. Cold and Scented don't want any of it, and they back him off.
There's more than enough points if Scented and Cold can keep up this pace, keep up this pressure for them to have a shot at the last game at the end of the day, but Cammy will not be stopped as well. Thomas HD goes down, Seti gets dropped, but Cammy knows he can't be the hero in this situation. He has to try to continue on without him, but he finally gets dropped. Thomas HD is on a roll.
He's done a lot, but you can't fight yourself out of that spot there. Clicks and Duke are alive. Scented and Cold are alive. And on high ground, Vortex and Bevies. It's EU on top. Down goes Cold. And a great tag there from Vortexer. And the finish now, Bevies slides his way down, painting the loot here. Does a couple edits there, but no, doesn't hit the shot. Bevy is so quick, but not fast enough. You're going to get some of the best of great loads. Tag there from Duke.
This is huge. This is huge for Duke and Clicks. They have the high ground right now, but for Bevy and Vortexers, taking out some big names already on the day, using these builds to try to keep that advantage. Duke, he's in a fray. He ends up on top. Clicks and Duke could take the game with Vortexers going down. Bevy outside of zone. He has the only chance right now, but he gets the down on the Duke. Clicks versus Bevy. He's trying to go for the heel, but Clicks takes the game.
Oh, Clicks gaming, Clicks and Duke. Yeah, big money.
They finally got the chip off their shoulder, taking the victory royale in game number 10. They gotta be feeling good. They gotta be feeling like they have nothing to lose at this point.
And all that matters is that they managed to show us what they can do against some of the greats. Let's go ahead and get a word from them.
Thank you so much, MDF. I am joined here by Clicks and Duke, and my goodness, it is better late than never. Grabbing that VR in Game 10. How you feeling, Clicks?
We're feeling good, you know. We struggled at the start, but we finally brought it home, you know, so.
And Duke, Duke, when you're watching Clicks in that final moment after you go down, what's going through your mind?
I was just hoping that he had more whites because he got the siphon from the full kill, and then I heard a pump shot and he won.
Clicks, I don't know if you heard it, but the audience went absolutely insane. Let's do it again, guys. What does it feel, man?
Come on, guys.
It's crazy.
Look,
I'm the best fans by far. Just look at them in the crowd.
Congratulations, guys. 2 more to go. And let's head on back to the desk.
Massive congratulations to Duke and Clicks fans. Rise up.
There it is.
That moment where it's the 2v2, we are literally sitting here going, this is literally where you want to be, Clicks. This is what you're known for, is being put in these situations. Now is your time to shine, and so masterfully handled from Clicks and Duke.
Those head-to-heads, they're so easy for them. I loved watching this endgame because we were like, oh my gosh, Cammy and Seti are going crazy. Oh my gosh, Tom and JD top of the leaderboard. And then we went to that wide, and all of a sudden, Clicks and Duke are on the lower ground, looking healthy, and right here, the teamwork is just so clean. Of course, Duke takes the blunt of the damage right there, ends up going down the Bevies, but Clicks is so smart in these endgame 1v1 situations that he recognizes this player could potentially have heals. He hears the splash go up, makes the push for it, and the little mantle cancel right there and gets the shot off too. So clean.
That was just an absolutely disgusting clutch moment, though, from Clicks. He saw the work that Duke was putting in as well to take the brunt of that damage, like you had mentioned, Vivid.
Yeah.
But it was just such a clean finish here. And I think that that's really a moment for Clicks especially that is going to permanently be in a highlight reel for him.
That's right. We're going to talk about more of these duels in just a moment. But first, we have Adam, who is standing by with Cold and Scented.
Yeah, thank you guys. Let's give it up for Cold and Scented! Cole, we're going to talk about the clutch up earlier on. You rebooted, then you suddenly find FKS and Spike coming through. You managed to stay in the game. The crowd went wild. Walk us through that one.
I don't even know. Scented had flew to the Coney vault.
Yeah.
And I kind of they just caught me alone as a solo, and I just kind of tried living. And I had no more mats left, so I kind of just had to fight, and I ended up winning.
You did. And obviously, you know, that now puts you in a great contention now. You're currently 3rd in the leaderboard right now, 44 points off the top. You guys, 2 games to go. You must be feeling confident here.
We're feeling good. We're locked in. We're just going to play our games and see how they go, honestly.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Colin Send, everyone! While I'm here too, give it up for Noah Riley and Bad Sniper! Noah Riley, you guys are currently sat in 7th. We haven't talked to you much this weekend, but what an incredible display thus far with 2 games left.
I want to get top 5 at least, and then I'm happy.
Top 5 seems to be the target. Are you feeling the same way, Basil? What do you guys do now with 2 games left? How do you manage the next 2 games?
I mean, we just have to do the same thing we did the last games. Keep consistency, and it will be fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah. It'll be fine. We're very chill over here, Zeke. Back to you, buddy.
Hey, you know, just keep it fun. Everything's fine. That's what I like to hear, personally. My goodness, this game, though, game number 10 of 12, was absolutely insane. I think the big kind of overall storyline for me was Queasy and Vino, right? Then their kind of counterpoints, Cammy and Seti, right?
Yep.
And what was interesting to me about this was actually, for a long time I was sitting here thinking, yeah, Cammy Seti versus like Queasy and Vino. It's actually a cold and scented versus Cammy and Seti tournament that's happening here. Queasy and Vino are just kind of like happen to orbit around both of them.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I think that so far, you know, we do have 2 games left, but I think Cold right there in that 1v2 situation, that's got to be like the play of the tournament so far for me. Literally keeping their contention for 2nd and 1st place alive right here. Look at this. FKS and Spy coming in. They're trying to get these sneaky shots in. Cold literally is in a 1v2. If you look at the minimap in the bottom right, Scented is so far away. So this is literally like a straight up 1v2, and Cold ends up finding both eliminations beautifully handled right there.
Oh, look, his name might be Cold, but he just absolutely lit FKS and Spy on fire with that display. I don't even know where they came from, because that reboot ban was literally the bat signal for those 2. They were full on expecting a prime opportunity to try and snag a quick and easy elim, probably look to clean up the other part of the duo in the process, because I don't believe they had any idea that it was specifically Cold and Scented in that instance. But it's that momentum shift that I was asking for during the halftime break. That was a primary example of one of those instances, because as soon as that took place, you could just feel a change in the venue, and you could definitely see it in Cold and Scented's gameplay. And the fact that they went from needing a reboot onto Scented to a literal 3rd place finish for this matchup, that's awesome.
Absolutely, and if we look at these standings, Queasy and Vino still holding strong. They are I would say the end game boss of the story we're telling here, but Cammy and Seti are actually the secret boss to this story, because they have been single-handedly shutting Queasy and Vino down for games now. It was in fact Cammy that actually knocked Vino out in that game and kind of put Queasy in that difficult situation of like, okay, what do you do now? You don't have your silver bullet, and now there's 2 of us.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, Queasy and Vino, I don't know how they do it. It's like every single time we're in that end game around 5th, 6th, or in that first movie, it's like I'm almost guaranteed to look up towards height and see them up there. They have gotten it seems like every single game, and it's not like it's just like a repeat of strategy. It's something different every single time. I beg to question, is anybody even like looking up in the skies for these guys at this point?
I think that that's just an attestament as well, though, to Queasy's IGLing capabilities, and the fact that Vino himself can also kind of fulfill that role, even despite the fact that he's an insane fragger at the same time. But going a little bit more in depth there with Queasy, I think it's kind of cool to see, because he is definitely someone that is definitely a little bit more emotional, but at the player frustration level, mental fortitude becomes so impactful here, and we've seen him make a comeback before.
That's right. That is 3 games. This means we have 2 left. Here we go. Let's send it on over. Monster D-Face, Jacob PR, prep us for game 11. That's right, we have the honor to call all the action. We're starting to get into the final moments now. I do want to give so much credit as well to Avery and Commandment representing as the last NAE's FNCS finalist champions. But here we have it, game 11, Jacob, it's here.
And the pressure is on for some of these teams that are looking to call themselves champion, looking to get the lion's share of the $1 million prize pool, a trophy that have never been seen like this before in Fortnite, and then that chance to call yourself literally one of the best players in the world after this global competition.
That is absolutely right, and what a better way to kick this game off than a perfect split down the middle, and this is it. It doesn't get any better than that. Last game, we saw Clix and Duke have their moments and take a win, and that just tells us anything can happen here on this stage. These players have been invited to this event for a reason. They are some of the most skilled players we have in the space.
Yep, you can see already Clix living with all the momentum over towards Fort Jonesy. Business as usual for these teams, looting up, getting some resources, starting your game off, and trying to replicate that success when it comes to Clix and Duke specifically.
See it, get the touchdown, get their loot together, rotate early. They do not want to take a fight. Here's a tough spot to be in. Bevies and Vortexers were moments away from taking a victory royale before things change. Miro finally starts to clap back, but what you're seeing is just the cold hands, unfortunate. Bugha does fight back though. He will be able to save his teammate here and does of course get the siphon as well. Material is more important though, because if Vortexer pushes up, he's got everything to gain here.
Really nothing to lose at this point. Bugha trying to will themselves back into this one. Saving the play for now. Miro still down, trying to hide his body, not wanting to get that one, give it up to Vortexers. That's 2 more points for them. Bugha doing what he can, backtracking, trying to go ahead and get his shields up as well, trying to get as many mats as possible. He knows the fight is inevitable, and the shot's gonna be landed. Bugha back to back, looking to clean this one up. All he needs is one more shot. But he's gonna find this moment to breathe and stabilize before he goes at it again.
And it looks like we will see all of our faves start to have their moment here. Bugha does need to, of course, finish it now, and he does. And there it is. They win back the drop. Chalker Speedway swings back to Bugha and Miro.
Yep, Miro did finally go down there, but it's not going to be any trouble for Bugha to get that reboot back up. Vico and Marine, though, trying to sneak their way towards the bottom. Catch, retake, and Novice off guard, but Bevy and Vortexers down altogether. 6th place, 212 points. That's going to be a chance for some of these teams that are outside of that top 5 to try to jump right in it and out past them.
And that is crazy, because they had such a great game prior, pushing them so far up, and now all of that zapped away. Momentum gone, hits the reset, all down to now just one more round. And that's something else to think about. Every engagement, as you get sent back, the players have to sit there, wait for the next game, and start to formulate a plan for their last chance here at the FNCS Invitational. But first, of course, you have to get through this one right here. Vico and Marine playing so smart here. Last round, they were taken out a little early to the hands of Retake and Novice. Not something we've seen too many times before. Meanwhile, iDrop gets boxed up by On1. And Larson and Smite still fighting here. They've lost so much momentum as well in the back half of the tournament.
This could be the key, though. This off-spawn fight right here could be the key that unlocks what we've seen yesterday. That potential we know they have. As they're just trying to go ahead and stay towards the low ground right now. Stay in a position that they think is advantageous to them. The shot's coming in on the side from Looter, trying to take that piece control over. He peeks through. Looter gets out just in the nick of time. You can see them with that bubble shield flirting with the opportunity.
Let's see it play out. That bubble shield will influence how it's going down. Let's see if Smite's gonna find a huge tag there onto Looter. It's gonna buy him a little bit of time here. Now remember, Smite was in top 5 before the last 2 games were pretty tough, and now he's fighting all the way, and he bucks him up and sends him right back to the lobby. We'll see you later, Muzz. We'll see you in the last game. Smite is here, and he's not messing around.
Glitters doing what he can. Lands a good shot, but the angles right now, everything is going to be cleaned up. Larson and Smite trying to replicate that success of day number 1 and bring it here to day number 2 as we check on board. Retake and Novice, they were able to catch Vico out.
Wow.
Enough sneaking around, they tell him.
That's going to slip them down further and further for Smite and Larson, though they jump up a position. That puts him in 13th. They are closing their way back towards that top 10, top 5 spot that they started the day off in. Meanwhile, Seti and Cammy sticking to the usual, giving us that great update. We thank you for that. Just letting us know, hey, listen, first place, they're chilling. Second place, they're chilling. Don't worry about it.
Over to Tilted, no Riley, bad sniper. On over to Blip, trying to steal away the loot from Acorn and Edgy. Walks in the feed, taking down Scram, cleaning it up all together. You know him and Robab love to be aggressive in any lobby, let alone an international stage.
Yeah, big shout outs to Bad Sniper, of course, representing for the French community. They are some of the coolest spaces that we have out there. One of the coolest communities, always building amazing content. But let's get back to it. Cold and Scented, who are in 3rd place, leading for NA East right now. That interview was so perfect. Cold is just like, hey man, you know, we're just doing our thing, doing our game, all right?
Backs up against the wall, man. You just gotta play with what you have at your hands right now. And Hen and Vortex. Hen is having a phenomenal tournament along with Vortex. Honestly, flying under the radar right now, and this is a perfect opportunity to see exactly what they're doing into the distance, finding the shots necessary so they don't have to worry about Surge. And thankfully, they not only have the vault, but they have the rotation right above them. So once they feel that comfortability of the damage threshold, they can instantly try and find a good rotation out.
And Hen and Vortex are in 5th now as well, 230 points picked up. A great day 2 showing so far for Hen and Vortex here to put them back in the game. Trippin and Thomas not too happy about that last game. They've gone from 2nd to 4th, falling slightly earlier than their counterparts. So everyone else starting to really pick up when they're letting things slow down. Meanwhile, Pink and Nas still in a fight right now. It's a player on Heights. Seems like they might be giving themselves a little bit of distance as Jason crew who land at the coastal areas. They've been the team giving Peterbot and Jamper a hard time this weekend. Very little room to, I guess, contest here, and Jason Basso are one of the few that have stuck to it all weekend long.
You can see them tempting fate, baiting Jace to run away, allowing Basil to get a couple more shots as he possesses that height advantage. Pink and Anas doing what they can to fire back, not finding any success, landing any damage for them. But first you don't succeed, you try again, and with Basil continuously putting out the shots, that's where they're gonna try to peek through. He's gonna cover Pink while he begins to rotate out and lead the way. Ziandy's down.
Ziandy is down. Joe and Ziandy are actually 2 Elans up this game because they took down Booga and Miro here at the Chonker Speedway, and now they're being focused by another team in the distance. A big knock there, and they're gonna break all of those, but it's actually Macwood and Kanata looking south, trying to figure out what's going on here. Joe will get the save, lucky for him, and take a look at how much loot. They have excess and much more as they get to double back into Chonker. I'm sure they'll be able to go out and make up for what they lost out on, but time, you don't get that back.
Yeah, especially right now, the blessing of those Chonker Speedway teams, one of them going down, the other one rotating out, but Scented and Cold, we talked about it almost all weekend long, even coming into this contested again towards Loot Lake, but they're not fighting it at all. They want to go ahead and play these games out because right now that has been the recipe for their success. And honestly, with that last game, clutch up from Cold, they have to be feeling like they could take it all at a moment's notice. You said it yourself, all it takes is one big game.
And little by little, we're seeing players like Cold really come into his own, finding his own here. What a story it has been for that player there. But Squeeze in Vino, chilling in Shiny Sounds, no sweat at all up here. Okay, we're fine. We have launch pads, we have plenty to heals, we'll be just okay. And now they're gonna go ahead and start moving south there. Back on over to No Riley and Bad Sniper. Belusi and Hydro are here, but someone in the distance, it's Bad Sniper who takes down Belusi. And look at how much loot they get rewarded with as well. Now they have decisions to make here, but They already have 2 launch pads. Acorn and Edgy are still here as well, lurking. And Bat Sniper's much smarter than that. He knows there's a teammate behind him. You can see how he's looking back just to double check. He's gonna drop a Legendary Ranger for the epic shotgun here. This is interesting. That's because it just does better in close range fights like this. But that end game Ranger shotgun is just amazing. Let's see it.
The distance right now, but they're on the hunt for that elimination. You said it yourself. They know he's a solo, but Acorn and Edgy hearing all this action go down. They want to also take part in it. There's a couple eliminations up for grabs. Bad Sniper's just on the move. High Joe goes down. Finally, they get cleaned up. Noah Riley and Bad Sniper adding 2 more points to their total, getting all that loot, surviving in the storm.
And lucky for us, we do get a quick update with Mini Miner here for Game 11.
Looking really, really good on the Storm Surge all day. And you might be wondering, how do they have the heals for that? Look at this, Cammy emptying his entire inventory into the base that they've built on the top of this Cammy split area, on top of the balloon. And they're able to take damage now because, of course, they have those extra heals on standby. All we can see, just Cammy getting as much heals as possible, bringing it up into the top of that. And, of course, Seti is, meanwhile, while he's doing this, he's getting his tags. You can see on top of the balloon, if he does get tagged, as he did do earlier on, he can go all the way back down, use all of those heals that were inside of the base, and they don't have to waste any. So we're seeing them go into zone with 800-900 surge tags and having max heals. Great stuff from this duo.
He might be mini, but his brain is big, giving us all the information we might have lost. And I know a couple people at home might be jotting that one down. Oh, that's how they're getting the surge. That's how they're looking so well when it comes to endgame with all those resources. As Mixon takes down Fatch, Hen's gonna be by himself, and I talked about his incredible run. Now he's going to have to really put that to the test. With 75 damage above the damage threshold when it comes to Storm Surge, that is not much at all.
You can see Hen just sitting back there by himself right now. Needs to continue to earn his way up if he wants to hold this 5th place spot. He's managed to claw his way towards. You wouldn't have thought it was possible looking at the way things played out yesterday, but that is what those extended moments between the halfway mark and, of course, 2-day formats have to offer us, is the full spectrum of the best strategies and plays that can be developed. Sensitive getting a little greedy there to get a flopper, but it seems like it was worth it, and that's because they can tell that they are just above the surge. And this is where I always say, only the best have to hit these shots when it matters the most.
Easy Bino talk about the best of the best. Well, they might have heard Jim Monster, and we can see them be 97 below the damage threshold. This is a big switch up, but that because the zone is pulling so far south. They're not able to stay on top of those balloons to get the damage, but they're going to find it either way. That's Scram and Chimp who are under pressure right now. Queasy Vino using that launch pad. They're trying to get ahead of all these teams that they know are stuck in the zone.
Oh, Queasy marked him. Queasy marked the Nos. He's going to go for it. You can tell and know a third party swings in. This might be the moment that changes it all. Queasy and Vino are extremely hurt. That's going to use all of their chug splashes. They're below the Storm Surge, and it's even more desperate now. Pink and a Nos versus Vino and Queasy. It's on.
Taking that piece control, and what a piece it was. Big shots to be fired. Queasy drops down low, but they clean him up. 1, 2, 3, they are out.
They are showing us why they are in the lead. This is a force that cannot be stopped.
I would hate to end up in front of them because they are looking like a runaway train at this point. It's KBR and Zeet, phenomenal run, staying alive by himself for Brazil. KBR getting tagged out of the sky, 11 HP. Storm Surge also doing its thing. But the pressure of the zone as they get stuck inside, not too many heals between them both, so they gotta hurry up and find their way out of here, or all that damage they did will go to waste.
And Brazil must be so proud. KBR and Zeet have managed to hold top 10 and PHN and Kitos as well this entire weekend, just putting up such phenomenal performances with, again, some of the least representation of the region we've seen here on this international stage. But Cammy and Seti, as always, in the storm, a huge hit there. Zeet's gonna feel that one. KBR ditches his teammate. He's gonna take the bulk of the shots first. He loses shield and picked out the sky. Sammy Seti here has found it. Oh, in the finish there onto KBR. Down goes the Brazilian duo.
I don't want to get in these guys' line of sight. Everybody is getting terrorized by Cammy and Seti. Next up, it looks like it might be the TSM duo. NA West, 6-time champion Epic Well. Reed is becoming under pressure as well. Dropped to about half HP. Multiple players taking focus of him as well. Hens by himself. 1 elimination, 268 above the damage threshold. Slowly falling below, but for him, it's about finding that spot into zone, going ahead and building more than just a 1-by-1. And the reason why you want to do that is because if nobody spotted you there, you don't want people to know that you are solo.
4th place, housed up right next to 5th now. Little do they know, and then you have just the ever so dangerous Trulex, Chicho, just in the distance. Thomas HD are below the Storm Surge with 0 elims coming into game 11 right now. So this is that kind of position that's going to force them into a box. If they start to recognize the opportunity that's nearby, it's going to be tough. And here it is. They say, let's start working our way towards it. We need to get to the edge here. There's only a couple teams there. And does a great job of fighting back. King and Ed are starting to jump into this conversation as well. And shots rain in. Tripper is hurt.
Sacrificing some of his own shields just to get the damage, but once again, they fall below. 7 at that, just 1 shot. But nobody is peeking. These stack lobbies know when and where to try to go for everything. But Hens on the other side is a solo. More damage is setting in on the Thomas HD, and now Storm Surge begins to tick.
And sometimes that's all you need right there, and there it is. Tripper looking around in the distance. He's worked his way up. Trulis and Chicho are willing to open up a big box there, and Tripper now has a decision to make. Do you go for the gunfight or try to heal this one out? And it looks like he takes the ladder. He's just gonna go ahead and look to survive right now. King and Ed work their way towards the loot. It is a matter of time, and it looks like our 4th place team, Thomas HD, does just enough to be in the game, but he falls there, and the look on the camera tells us that they are devastated to fall in 4th.
4th place just fall, like you said, and Scented just went down as well. Cold gonna have to clutch up big by himself. These are the final 2 games. Every moment matters, including this one right here, where Hen is just under pressure from Trulex and Chicho. Trying to stay alive, trying to fight a way to stabilize, backing up slowly but surely, but those pieces are going over to Chicho and Trulex, 1 by 1, and they know that he's by himself. This is theirs for the taking. This is going to be interesting because for them, they also don't want to get too far behind the rest of the lobby when it comes to the zone. They have to make a decision quick.
See how it's going to play out. Looking very tough. Let's go ahead and watch how Hen falls there, because now what this tells us is that things are starting to open up on the standings. Look at this. Hen finds King, walks in, plays for the elimination, and he actually gets that one too. Afterwards, he does go down, so at least he earns some points, but that's going to freeze him in time, lock him in at 5th, and open things up. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd has so much less to worry about. This is by far one of the toughest games Queasy and Vino have had on the day, and it all makes sense. It's pulled in such a far direction that you can see that it finally has caught up.
Yeah, especially since game after game after game, they had that recipe for success, and such a drastic change. They might have not been too prepared for it, but these guys have dealt with almost everything and adapted on the fly. Their flexibility is insane as Cold peeking through, trying to get that information on these players that are in the backside of zone, trying to wait for that perfect moment to strike. But Trulex and Chicho spots another duo right in front of him, picking and choosing his battles here. And with Ju going down, I don't think that's a battle he wants to take anymore.
Cold is now by himself in 3rd place, 282 earned points in the competition right now. The zone could not be better, though. He gets the half in, half out, and you know he is so happy about that. You know, sometimes you just need that little bit of favor on your side.
78 above the damage threshold, Smite Larson.
Wow.
Off spawn Grim Gables all the way to here. And that really was the difference maker from last game to this. That damage onto Muzz and Looter really is propelling them this far into the game because they don't have to worry about Surge. All they have to worry about is getting to the front side of zone time and time again.
It's so crazy. After every tournament, we always look at Where was EU? Where was NA? Who was in the top 10 representation? And we have truly had such a fair balance, a fair representation on the stage here. It's been amazing. While all this is going on, Queasy and Vino continue to earn more. This time onto the international duo, the mixed duo of Chimp and Scram. So they knock down Scram, they catch him in the spider's web, and through the trap door, the trap hole, Chimp gets caught as well. You can see he just punches his fist there. He says, man, I missed that one.
Yeah, and a prime example right there of why you try to use as much as your hard mats first before you go ahead and try to use that wood, because it's easily destroyable. They can break through it, shots can fly through, and it's going to be hard to hold. And game number 10 victors are just one box away from Queasy and Vino. That's Clix, that's Duke, trying to have some replicated success into this one as Kanata, Macwood under pressure, trying to trade the shot. 693 above the damage threshold. That is not even a slightest of a worry.
Clix and Duke had their moment last game. Macwood and Kanata might just be doing it here right now. I have not seen them in a better position yet. They have the mats, they have the launch pad, they have the positioning. They could do the unthinkable, which is play for high ground and take this all home and get their win today.
And honestly, I see it's 6 moving zone. Normally I would say it's Queasy and Vino time, but this has not been the most friendly game for them. They might not be in the same position. They might have to adapt, just like Spike and Larson. Trying to adapt, accidentally phases through the build. Luckily for him, nobody was on the inside, but the pressure is there. Larson forced to slow down just a little bit as they continue to fall below the damage threshold, along with Clix and Duke. They are 61 below, but these guys are scrappy. These guys are fighters. They know how to get the job done.
That's right, and they're in 15th right now, so Clix and Duke have a chance to fight for top 10. But like I said, I called it. If I know Macwood and Kanata well, I know that they absolutely want to make a statement, but they get chopped down. Macwood saves himself. It's all good. Vidil and Janice are the team closest right now, putting the most threat. Textbook plays here to go ahead and jump down, position up, poise up. Cold is still alive, earning points. Queasy goes for height. They said, NA, what? We're up here. Let's do it.
With or without resources, that is their play. Call it their signature move. 5 eliminations, but now they find a way to stabilize. They have done it, Monster. They have secured the high ground and taken it away from Kanata and Macwood. With the launch pad going out, that's going to be recycled for sure. Everybody has to go up and down these terrains. This one, Monster, is a literal roller coaster.
We might see a 3-way fight for height. Bad Sniper Noah, touchdown and go for it. Jamper and Peterbot, they want their win too. Everyone wants a win here today. Bad Sniper gets slapped up by Kanata though on the side. Kanata takes down Vino while he's at it, and just like that, Queasy is left by himself.
And Cold gets another one as well. The solo plays are coming out big, and those are absolutely necessary because he's still in third place. He's still in contention. Cold's trying to do it again. Spots another player out. Finally, his run comes to an end, but he did so much. And to get this far, PHN and Nikitos trying to do that same thing with Brazil on their shoulders. 4 eliminations, trying to get as many points as possible. Clix and Duke trying to do the same. We talked about replicating the sex. They're trying to take that high ground away from
Cammy and Seti are here. 6 eliminations now. High ground looking down. They can get a 4th victory royale. When was the last time you showed up to finals and seen that much? I don't know. Larson is not messing around either. Down goes Duke in a huge elimination there. And that is 8 elims for Larson and Smite. They are just showing us why they are a dominant force, some of the best fighters to rise out of this last year. And I'm so happy we get to see it play out on the big stage.
Yep, no Riley taking some damage, sacrificing that so he can get that clean pad, trying to get in the zone, but 19 HP in a dream.
What an
has to find a way to stabilize here, pop those minis, gets as much shield as possible as players are continuing to drop towards the low ground. Jamper gets dropped. Clix versus Peterbot here towards the mud. They're trying to do everything they can to stay alive. Larson, we talked about 8 eliminations, but they added 1 more, 9 total, but Smite gets chunked out, but Larson's there to save the day, taking out Runa.
Already at 10 eliminations, Larson and Smite have fought their way all the way back up. Larson steps the Clix and puts them down with a quick drop kick in the low ground, and now we have EU versus NA, but Larson and Smite are hurt. They're damaged. They're down to low material. It's all or nothing right now. Cammy and Seti know what to do here. They've been here before, and they have the resources to hold this one out.
this is going to come down to it. They could get their 4th victory royale. The only team going to stop them comes from NAEs trying to rise up, and it does look like they are out of builds.
But they find a little bit of loot here. Larson goes for the med kit. He's trying to get as much HP as possible. Seti now starting to run out of material on the high ground. This is it. It's going to come down to nothing or everything here. As he has no mask, great tag there, and a trade, an open exchange. It's not looking good for EU right now. Into the zone they go. Smite and Larson are down. Larson is by himself, and no! He turns and gets burned.
Cammy and Seti take their 4th victory royale of the FNCS Invitational. Goes to show that it doesn't matter if it's EU, doesn't matter if they're playing on NAEs, it doesn't matter where they're at in the world, they will come out on top.
But I will tell you, that was close. Smite and Larson put some respect on their name. If you counted them out, now you know why they were brought here to the Invitational. But hey, we got Game 4 winners, another win in the win. Adam, catch us up.
The zones as well here are RCKMA. The zones have changed a lot now, aiming more towards the southern side. How does that affect your play at all?
Like the south zones are so much better for us because it's so easy, so much easier to rotate for us from balloon. So nice.
It's great. A good battle there against Smite and Last at the end as well. And you guys came out on top. You managed to take the high ground back. How advantageous was it having that high ground?
It doesn't really matter for us because we play low ground just as well as we play high ground. So yeah.
Okay, well, you heard it there, folks. 1 game to go. Cammy and Seti, everyone! Woo! It's getting hot here, Zeke. I'm excited, man.
For the first time here in the FNCS Invitational, Queasy and Vino are asked to step aside. And it's not even an ask. It's Cammy and Seti kicking in the door and saying, hey, we want first place.
Oh, man. Listen, am I ready to say that Cammy and Seti are a high ground team? Is that what's happening right now? 4 victory royales throughout the Invitational. What is happening? This is a team that is so used to just playing consistently from the low ground, from that mid-ground layer. But you heard it right there, Seti. He said he plays the low ground just as well as he plays the high ground. The preparation for this event must have been insane for them to get this good at high ground.
And we know how excellent they are when it comes to that low ground display. So to see them here at the FNCS Invitational with this high ground debut performance, it has just been an absolute blast to follow along with. But more importantly, it's the composure that Cammy and Seti have just managed to maintain throughout the entirety of these final moments, especially in this instance. It looked as though Smite and Larson, for a moment, were about to get the better end of this trade. But again, Cammy, Seti, they have been in these kinds of situations in the past. They know what it takes to close it out. And I just know for a fact that that kind of mental preparation comes from just multiple reps of running it over and over again. And for 4 victory royales to take place in the same tournament. And they're still maintaining, by the way, because there's only 1 game left. So technically speaking, they have basically closed out on a third of these matches being victory royales.
Take a look at the standings right now. For the first time, Cammy and Seti are holding that #1 spot, but it's only 12 points. If either of these duos make a mistake, look at the rest of the points, man. It will absolutely close. Now, before we kind of talk more about the duos, more about this kind of setting the stage going into this last game, Kelly is standing by. She's with Queasy and she's with Vino right now.
That is right, Zeke. Joining me right now, I have Queasy and Vino. And guys, you gotta talk to me about that game, the early game fight that you had and survived. I didn't think it was possible, but you're able to clutch it out.
A lot of people just fighting around us. This kind of makes it really scuffed. We did manage to clutch out the game, well, at least a decent amount. Setting Cammy won, which is unfortunate. It comes down to the last game. It's competitive.
It's obviously a bit rough after game 11, having first place for so long, going to second, but it's the final game, final opportunity. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We'll see what happens, I guess. Not much more to say, but yeah.
Fair enough. I totally understand you guys wanting to focus up right now. And I believe we're going to be moving on, everyone, to talk with Cold and Scented, the team that is currently in third place right now. Hey, guys. How's it going? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. You know, you guys started or ended off day one in 8th place, moving all the way up to 3rd place right now. How you feel about that?
I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm hyped. We just figured out our mistakes from yesterday and just didn't make them again today, and now we're doing good.
What's the plan for the final game right now? How are you feeling? What's going through your mind?
We're playing for 3rd. We're playing with sticks and stones while 1st and 2nd has God loot compared to us. So we're playing for 3rd. Just gonna, hopefully we can keep our lead on Thomas, and that's about it.
All right, guys, good luck in the final game, and let's head on back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for those interviews, getting those raw emotions, getting the thoughts of the players. Now, we just want to take a moment and kind of remind everyone, of course, we're looking for the duo that's going to walk away in that first place, but for everybody else, they still want to place high in this tournament. There's a lot of prize money on the line, so if they can even move up that leaderboard even one space, we're talking thousands of dollars in difference of prize money. But let's go back. Let's focus in on these two teams, Titans at the top, Queasy and Vino. Now, we can't lie, right? That game was kind of insane for them, kind of for a moment there. Finding an elimination, being 200 above Surge, right? They get put in a situation where in Storm they get pushed, okay? Against Scram and Chimp, and even after that fight, ending with being only above 80 in Storm Surge. How is that even possible?
I mean, playing like that, Queasy and Vino, you know, backs up against the wall, tough rotate for them. They mentioned a lot of scuff fights going on around them just because the lobby, how it's going to play out throughout these last couple of games. Everybody just wants to fight, right? They want to get as many points as they possibly can. Eliminations being worth 2 points, that's how you got to go for it for sure. So Queasy and Vino playing well in game 11. About to see what they got in game 12.
Adam, what's this you got?
This is it. The big moment, everybody. Make some noise, please.
Close.
My, oh my, you heard it here first, folks. You gotta jump into Fortnite December 3rd there to catch the end of chapter event. Now, I'd love to talk more about it, but we got to focus back in on the competition. One last game. Two duos are sitting there, face to face, neck and neck. 12 points separate Queasy and Vino from Seti and Cammy. How can this go down?
This is their moment, though, to really, for either of these duos, but as far as Queasy and Vino are concerned, a little reminiscent even of yesterday. Granted, it's not the finals necessarily that's on the line like it was in today, excuse me, for yesterday. But anyway, Queasy and Vino did not have a great showing in game 4 yesterday. And yet in game 5, they were able to bounce back and find a victory royale instance. So it doesn't really matter what kind of frustrations this duo might be facing on a game-by-game basis. It's evident that as soon as they enter the next match, as soon as they get that fresh start, they are immediately locked in and prepared to try and make the most of any situation that they're given, because despite all the scuff fights surrounding them, they've still been managing to find consistent points. They've still been managing to stay consistently in that top 2 position to now be vying between themselves and Cammy and Seti for the title of FNCS Invitational Champion. It's definitely still an incredible performance out of these two.
The dream for the players here obviously is the trophy. The dream for me, I want whichever one of these duos is going to win it, I want them on the higher ground and I want them taking the victory out. I think they both have proven that they can play from the higher ground, so I want it to be decisive in its entirety through game 12.
I'm very worried though, right? We just kind of took a look at them a moment ago, cold and scented. It feels like for these two Titans that are kind of have now, you know, set themselves apart from everyone else, cold, scented, Thomas, HD, Tripperin, they're looking to isolate these duos and slow them down at all costs. We've seen Cold and Scented fight Cammy and Seti time after time, and then there's times where they walk up to Vino. Vino says, whoa, all right, sit back down. There's time where they look at Vino, they go, hey, Vino, no, you sit down. This is being traded back and forth. And it will all come down to a single moment for both of these duos, where one will be, it will be made clear, one of these two duos is the winner.
Traveled from all around the world, the international stage league, $200,000 for first place, a trophy to take home, and it comes down to two teams in the last game. I mean, could we ask for anything better?
Well, maybe in your circumstance, Vivid, as a fellow North American representative, a little tough because it is about first and second place between Europe. I think Europe is definitely established here at the FNCS Invitational that they do have some of the best duos, and one of them is about to find out if they are the best duo in the world right now, at least everybody that's competing here out of these 50 of the best duos. But I love the fact that Seti and Cammy, throughout this entire time, so composed. They have not been going so heavy in the reveling of their celebrations for their Victor Royales, despite the fact that it's happened 4 times over now. They just know and understand we're this far, but we still have more to go.
Yeah, and I think Mini Miner pointed out their Storm Surge strategy. I think the biggest takeaway for this duo is they have not had to deal with Storm Surge. When you go into mid-game, even late game, you're like, yeah, we're 800 above Storm Surge. Cool, man, do whatever you want. Queasy and Vino have not had that luxury. 200 above, down to 80 above, down to shambles situations, right? This is gonna come down to what happens, how this all unfolds, what loot they get. If for Queasy and Vino, they need to do something. They need to ensure they have those Storm Surge tags, and it's not even just to keep up. It's to make sure they have the breathing room to adapt and make the right choices moving into those last few moments of this last game. Here we go, game 12, almost here. Jacob, MDF, let's set the stage.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Here we have it, the final game. Let's give it up one more time as we start to gear up for this. It's all or nothing because we get to decide who gets to take this all home.
You got the 2 top players that have won 4 games so far from Become Legends, Seti and Cammy. The other 2 contesting them from the same region. From Tundra, you got Vino. GXR, you got Queasy. And in 3rd place, you heard him in the interview. He's trying to hold on to that spot. From NA East, you got Cold and you got Scented. This is what it all comes down to. The final game, the final moments to take what you have.
That's right. And what a weekend it has been to celebrate international competition here in person with all of you in attendance. We absolutely love to see it. Here we go. One last ride. Let's do it.
50-50 right out of the gates on game number 12, but there's going to be nothing on top for anybody to work with, and they immediately change their routes. They don't want to go ahead and contest the same building where Mr. Savage had that best drop at that time. What is this? What is this? Queasy, Vino are trying to take it by force.
You only win in one way, and that's taking that crown. Vino is here. Queasy is here. Down goes Seti. It's a big trade. It's a one-on-one. This has to be one of the most explosive head-to-heads we have ever seen. Vino has to get this thirst here. He knows now it means everything. We might as well seal this deal. Why wait?
Bubble shield going out. He's trying to bait it. He's trying to bait the revive so that way Cammy might peek. Breaks through the wall. Shot's gonna be fired. And they do it. Become Legends are on top.
Become Legends has officially managed to win the biggest fight of their careers. Cammy and Seti put it all on the table. And you know what? I absolutely respect Queasy and Vino for giving it that chance. The heart of that team is unlike any we have ever seen before. Cammy and Seti have done it.
They have taken it. The point gap is 70 points between them and the next players that are alive, Cold and Scented. Cammy and Seti are your FNCS Invitational champions.
We have never seen anything like this before. Let's put our hands together for at least the #1 and 2 teams that came into this and got crazy. You have to show them so much love. We have never seen a better head-to-head in person like that ever before. I don't even think we've had that in mind. That
they know
was
it.
Crazy.
They know it too.
Absolutely
the
knew it.
celebration coming out, the emotion,
wow,
the passion raining through, and even though they kind of cemented themselves the top spot, they're not happy at all. They wanted that first place spot, but you still got to give Vino and Queasy a huge round of applause for doing what they did all weekend long.
That was the most craziest thing Vino and Queasy could have done, and it just shows you the heart of our competitors, the courage of our players in this space. What a moment. Things are gonna open up now. Scented and Cold walked into this thinking to themselves, hey, we got third. Well, not anymore, boys. You have some room here. The runway is open. The floor is yours. There are still tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line, and you put that weight on your shoulders. You allow that to be left to chance. Now we get to see this ride out. What a fight.
Yeah, you talked about that thousands of dollars, still a huge life-changing amount of money to be fought for from our competitors still in the game right now. And that fight's coming down. And in Vortex trying to take the high ground away from Joe and Z-Andy. Both players have been playing out of their minds, but you talked about that top spot. Joe and Z-Andy are just right there as well. As they fought down low, they want to try to clean this one out. And you can see our champions still, they don't want to just take part. They want to take over. They want to cement their legacy. And it looks like just winning isn't enough as Joe and Z-Andy, this fight is going to continue. 86 players alive. Everybody is getting more and more busy, more and more proactive because they realize how much money is still on the line. And with the first place team going down and getting overtaken overall, it's going to be a huge moment for a lot of players here today.
Such a big chance now for Joe and Z-Andy to continue to see what they have. But Hen puts the numbers on the market. He gets taken down first. Z-Andy with a great elimination there. And all of a sudden, Z-Andy and Joe are the kings of the Flutter Barn. They should be able to finish this one out right now. The tag away, Vortexer gets tagged for 26. Nicely done there. Here comes the edits. All they got to do is coast, right? This is still a big moment here. Vortex was in 5th place. If they go down now, that's it. Joe and Z-Andy have room to start jumping back into a top 10 as well.
Yeah, and we talked about it. You talked about one being in 5th place. You got Joe and Z-Andy in about 14th place to start this game off, but Lucy and Hi Joe still having to want to have a great performance as well. But you can see they're just looking in the distance, trying to see if this vault is looted or not. Finally going to go ahead and get in. You can see them kind of checking their angles. They're still wanting to go ahead and change their lives with the amount of money that's still up for grabs. Thomas, HD, and Triprin battling for 3rd place against Scented and Cold. They still have an opportunity at some money.
Thomas, HD, Triprin working their way around right now, really looking around. And just one more time, the standing shows you what is on the line here for our competitors. Thomas, HD, Chrome Jam Junction, what are they doing here? What will they do? King and Ed are also just lurking about.
Towards the low ground, you got Brazil versus EU. High ground, you got EU as well. Traumas and Triprin just trying to wait for that perfect moment. They could have taken the shots on the King long ago, but they're just waiting and biding their time to try to go ahead and take out the same player at the same time, but it looks like they're baiting that opportunity if any of them comes up to the top of that building and tries to take that balloon as an exit out. Just hovering over them, surveying. Patience is a virtue for Thomas, HD, and Triprin. That battle for 3rd could come down to a moment like this. You bite off more than you can chew. You go down early. You lose out on that opportunity, and you got Muzz, Alice, both of them getting a little bit more active in this game. And overall, game number 12 is going to be a menace.
And they're still lurking about here, looking for anything. Meanwhile, the rotates are going through. Let's jump on back over to Joe and Z Andy right now, who are trying to close out this duo, but no, they don't manage to find it. Somehow, Vortex is just slippery enough. And you know what? That gives him a chance. He has a chance at still holding on to 5th place. 6 is down. 7th is down. Smite and Larson did not do it.
That's unfortunate. The only teams right on the cusp as well is team from Brazil, Quitos and BHN. They still have a chance to jump up. Some big placements as well. I'm looking at them, about 221 points. And in Vortex, you talk about them sitting in 5th place, 239 points. So it's still within grasp. As Cammy, Seti just feeling it from all over the lobby. They already know they won, but they don't want to just stop playing just because of that. They want to get as many points as possible. They want to open that gap wide open, so that way when that legacy is cemented at the end of game number 12, they can say, we just dominated everyone in the world of Fortnite.
Things are going to settle here. The dust settles for Sentin and Cole. They have the elim that they need to go ahead and step their way closer and closer to that prestigious 2nd here. But of course, they have a lot of work to do as well. That will probably come off the backs of a super high placing game. So there's a massive, massive uphill battle that they still will have to perform. Tripper and Thomas HD are looking to catch up to Cold and Sentin. That's their task here.
See the high ground right now. They're trying to take the shots. They see somebody trying to fly through the sky using the rift, and that might be a decision they might regret because you have 2 of the most accurate players aiming at you to take you down. Vortex is going to be that lone player alive, and it almost makes me wonder if he has that reboot card, he could make magic happen, but it all depends. And that's a big if, and you can kind of see it spotted out. He's trying to go to the slower side of zone, or the slower side he thinks that would be.
And this is a good move for him to go ahead and just keep a low key. Meanwhile, Peterbot and Jamper are like, hey, we got a lot of zone here in front of us. What do we want to do about it? They go ahead and double on back. They get themselves 2 eliminations there, possibly onto Pink and Anas there on the outskirts of the zone. This is a fight that's been raging on. Pink and Anas officially lose the opportunity to break towards top 10. They were getting so close, and unfortunately now fall short. What's crazy about Seti and Cammy now, they have 2 options here. Ruin this lobby, take everyone's chances, and play because they have nothing to lose at this point.
Great reboot coming out from Vortex again. 5th place right now, trying to squeeze themselves in and past Thomas HD and Triprin. But that's going to come and be needed for them to have a fantastic game if that's going to be the case. So that for them, it's just holding on to that 5th place spot. If they spot out Vico, trying to take some height, immediately target him and trying to take him down. But when it comes to the HP, they have none. They have no ability to try to regain it. Vortex under pressure. Moraine is trying to go ahead and end one. As Vortex, the high ground is going to be fought for. Not going to have any success there. Quickly build towards his backside so he can't get knocked down, but Hen does. There it goes. Vortex back to the lobby. Vico and Moraine are going to stand tall.
What a big moment for them. If only they could have done that in game number 9, where they were taken out and they lost all that momentum. They were just quite literally moments away from maintaining, but Vigo and Moraine now have a real chance to also continue to march their way on up to top 10. The points are so close as you start to see who was eliminated. 5th, 6th, 7th, down and out. PHN and Quitos have an exceptional opportunity to represent for their entire region here.
They can steal away. Look
I can hear them from
5
here.
points for 7th place, 14 for 16. This is literally within reach. They can make the run of a lifetime and put Brazil on the map when it comes to Fortnite.
You have to respect the entire Brazilian region.
They won't go down. They won't be denied.
They are just so good. They have stepped up. They have performed. They have given us such a show. Clown and Refsguard now, though, have to play defensive here. This is the first time we've seen a far northeast zone like this, so this is going to get very dicey for most of the lobby. If you were, and I hate to say it, Vino and Queasy, you would have quite literally had the zone here.
That'd been some of the love, but business as usual when it comes to Cammy and Seti. Staying as far back into zone. They make sure they got all the Storm Surge they need. They started the game off, taking down Queasy and Vino. So this is just all bonus at this point as they continue to hold their spot, not wanting to let that team below them survive, because like we talked about, they have nothing to lose at this point. Janice and Fadil have everything to gain, as it does look like they're finally going to try to get out. Thomas HD goes down to Alice. Trippin and Thomas got their game on the run, but Cammy goes down to Janice. Oh, back to back. That's going to be huge for Janice and Fadil, taking out your FNCS Invitational champions. So now with first place going down, it's going to be all about the money for everybody else left in the lobby.
That is what's on the line here. Tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars is still at play. Don't forget, everyone here was invited for the chance at, of course, the trophy, but the money too. There's so much to fight for, and the respect of the region, which we already know so many have earned throughout the course of this week, and that's what these shows are all about. Putting new names and new faces on the map as they put in all that hard work while I'm sleeping, trust me.
Marion's going to take down Fadil, so it looks like Vico went down as well early on. I did see that one, so it's going to be Janice versus Marion that far back in zone. And honestly, that's just a few placement points between the both of them. You really want to try to survive there as Booga finally goes down. Joe FN is going to get the spoils of that one, even though he doesn't get credit for the elimination overall. Strippin's just trying to survive, biding his time as that solo. For him, everything comes down to this because he's only a few points away from third place.
Let's watch that one more time. Your FNCS Invitational champions fall here to the hands of Janice and Vadil. With a beautiful tag. He just opens things up for himself and he makes it look easy. And then the guts on that kid to go all the way up. Cammy and Seti know better than to fall like that, but it is what it is. You can't be perfect all the time.
The team that's going to be trying to get as close to it as possible. Found in Refscar, they got themselves a great spot in the center of the zone to where there's very few players around. And when it comes to this zone, it pulls yet again to the northeast. This one's going to be a struggle from everybody on the southwest part of the zone to try to find their way in. There's 30 duos left alive. And for Joe and Z-Andy, 1,500 above the damage threshold, hunting down yet another team in Belusi and Hydro. For them, it's all about the Benjamins. They want to continue to rack up that points. Breaking through the box, Joe and Z-Andy get yet another angle. They know they have one player weak. They know he's at least going to try to heal. And now, as they go ahead and let that player and team try to stabilize, they're going to use that as a way to go around them and in front of them to the zone and try to hold them out of it.
Let's see if they can continue to do just that. Smart play is all that Joe and Z-Andy need in order to make this top 10 and earn themselves so much more this weekend. But of course, there's a big task in front of you. See the names starting to house up here. Scented and Cold know what they have to do too. King and Ed are just housed up nearby. That would be the wrong move to walk to that box, I'll tell you right now.
It's not a box I would want to enter, as Cold and Scented have one elimination so far. Not having to worry about Storm Surge until now, but they know there's at least one team behind them. Gathering that information, trying to figure out what that plan is going to be, and you can see a lot of our top competitors from around the world all boxed up, just waiting for that next zone, which is going to come in just a few seconds, and let's see who's going to get that reward. It's actually going to be a good portion of the lobby. This is actually a good zone for everybody here to try to make it way in, except for maybe one or two teams.
That is right. This north side is starting to become very contentious here. Muzz and Looter walking up, Trippin and Thomas have a problem, right? A real problem. There's a little too many players on their heels here, and he doesn't want to go first. It's iDrop Savage just snacking fabs up there. Here's Ketos, here's PA Zin, looking to put up the numbers here. He still has 0 eliminations, but the lobby is thinning out, and it all makes sense. Look at this zone. This is as far to the corner as you can play. Literally imagine for a final game.
For them, they just got to make just a few more teams to stay alive, and they're going to start getting those cascading placement points. And you said it yourself, first and second place going down. You got 5th, 6th, and 7th. The teams directly in front of them, already back to the lobby, watching, hoping, praying somebody takes down the shining stars from Brazil as Trippin finally falls. Basically cement scented and cold with a minimum of 3rd place, but Vino and Queasy are already down.
That is true, and now things are completely available for PH Zin, Kitos, Commandment, Avery, Clown, Rutscar, Josie, Andy. All of these players have a real opportunity to honestly fight for a 5th place, a top 5 position in one of the most competitive competitions we have seen to date. An invitational setting of some of the best players in the world on one stage for 2 days of competition. A top 5 here would be phenomenal to seal.
A huge success for a lot of these players, even to make it to this point, getting into that top 5. Gotta be feeling so amazing as Clicks goes down to Hydro. Duke is down as well. They both get sent back to the lobby. Belusi and Hydro getting very, very active. A lot of our EU players still left with a chance into this one, trying to take that chance and run with it.
Let's see it play out. Joe and Ziandi have the high ground now. And there it is. They have managed to earn themselves just enough points to go ahead and break into that top 10. The glass ceiling has been lifted for PH Zin and Kitos. They find 2 more. We blinked and we might have missed it, but lucky for us, we get to go back into the replays to get caught up. How did it end for Duke and Clicks? They had Belusi and Hydro dive into the box, and that's how it ends. But you know what? A round of applause for them. They did get a win today. Clicks and Duke did put up a huge win in Game 11. That was such a performance.
Hey, not many people can say they got a victory royale on an international stage, especially when you got Seti and Cammy taking 4 of them by themselves.
I was gonna say, you know why? It's because they're all up top between 1st and 2nd place. Here's Cold and Scented. How many points can they earn here?
It's actually doable for them if they start picking up some eliminations. They don't even need to be greedy and get all the eliminations.
Well, remember, there's like 30 just for winning.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
the 2nd place is within reach for them. I think if Vino and Queasy knew that and they knew the zone that they would get, maybe they would have thought twice, but that was the most exciting start to any game I have ever seen. As Yumi, he goes down. Rapid is down as well. Cool has a chance to probably get Yumi back into this one because he was just knocked all together. But Ju's on the other side along with Yusri trying to finish that one up. They not only want that elimination, they want the loot to keep themselves going to the rest of this game. As Acorn and Edgy are very, very similar positions. But luckily for them, they're not forced with their back up against the wall. Their game plan is smooth. They get that early game surge, so that way they only have to worry about rotation after rotation. And with that launch pad in hand, if they get that far forward, that is going to be their next plan.
Let's go. Acorn and Edgy have a chance here to represent for NA. Refsguard and Clown are one of the teams that would have to get pushed and toppled over, who is currently holding and tied for 7th or for 9th with Commandment, who's just right there as well. So it's all or nothing. King and Ed are going for height. King and Ed want to win. They want to get at least a game 2. Can they do it for the last game of the evening here in Raleigh, North Carolina, here at the FNCS Invitational? King and
It's going to be
Ed to
scary for
glory.
the rest of the lobby, though, because they have high ground, they have front side of zone. Anybody launch padding, trying to get past them, is going to feel the pain, and that includes the same region. Feezin and Keto's flying high through the sky. He immediately becomes the target. Shield just getting ripped off of him, but he found himself a little bit of an oasis and a moment to breathe.
Scented looks like he fell off the build there. Cold's by himself now. Down goes Cold. That 2nd place dream is out of the question. They will now be cemented at 3rd as the only teams who can jump up now, PH Zin and Kitos, still have a chance to fight for 5th. They have to do a little bit more and put Brazil on the map, but King is being contested. He's gonna crank his way out of there, but the shots are coming in. He gets tagged one time. It's Kanata on the other side of the wall there, putting big pressure in.
Trying to figure out a way is Ed's gonna go ahead and lead the charge, allowing King to try to stabilize the air in that moment. He's gonna be the person that IGLs his way through and through, but Zone pulls back the next way. He immediately has to go back the way he came. Luckily for him, he does have enough resources. He has a great layer not to get stuck in the chaos that is below, but Joe and Z, Andy, it's their turn. With Vino and Queasy out of the game, they have a chance to hold on to the height and take the game with 7 eliminations.
Who will win the last game of the FNCS Invitational here? PHN has lost Kitos on this very dangerous rotate. He will have to use both the chunk splashes here to heal up. KBR is by himself too. He has to save King or Azine here. Meanwhile, in the distance, King gets thirsted by Acorn. He's out of the game.
He's trying to do what he can. Chili chunk splash yet again. Trying to use that speed boost, but the high ground's gonna be fought for. Kanata and Macwood, they don't want to go without a victory, but they get chopped down, sent back to the lobby. Joe and Z, Andy, with their 7 elimination, are poised to try to take the top spot, but with no resources to try to regenerate any shield or health, it could look dangerous, just like Malibuka and Mustache, wasting no time, getting into the box of Runa and sending him right back to the lobby as well.
The PHN is still here, and he is pushed off Miro. He says, turn around and get away if you don't want to be taken out just here. And take a look. Now he's looking around. He finds Alice. Oh no, that's Alice on the other side of the wall and threat the Japanese and American duo. The combination brought together here for this very special event. But PHN, cold as ever. Look at the focus on his face here. He is waiting to land this shot. There it is. We knew he would hit it. If you let him, he gets the thirst. Works his way through the build. Such a good play there, but he has no time to waste. Down he goes. The layer change here. It's all or nothing to the low ground now. That's a fresh build. That's an enemy. He doesn't want to be there.
He is the best player right now when it comes to taking the top positions away from those players that were eliminated early on, but high ground goes over to Acorn and Edgy. It's their chance to secure themselves a victory royale in an international stage. They have 13 splashes. They have more than enough ammunition between the both to put down pressure and not let it stop. But one of the big teams, the big names, Malibuka and Mustache, are standing in their way, trying to make sure Threats doesn't have a chance to survive. That's 2 more elimination points, plus the placement points that they could garner here as they enter into the top 6.
And they have a combined of about 15 chunk splashes or so. They have so many heals, they can top off at any time. Zeke gets brought down after being saved by KBR. And now, Malibuka and Mustache earn themselves more. This might be the most he lives, and no! KBR falls there to the hands of Yusri, but now it's all up to Malibuka and Mustache down on the low ground. Robob's in between. Acorn and Edgy have a chance here to take a win, but they have to stop the W keyers of EU, Mustache and Malibuka.
That's an insane amount of splashes between the 2 duos left alive. Robob trying to put a wrench into the mix, but this comes down to a 2v2 EU versus NAEs, and both of these teams have all the resources in the world to make this one go forever. So it's about thinking outside of the box, making the move that matters most as Acorn gets tagged up. Has to find some height to re-heal. And they're both out of build. Both of these teams are out of build. This fight is going to come down to this as Edgy gets chunked out. He gets dropped. Malibuka and Mustache trying to take game number 12 away from NAEs. And it's down to Acorn, the last member. We talked about his splashes. This one's going to come down to a heal off. Does he have enough to take the game? Menmis coming out. 5 more splashes. He has so much time left in zone, but Malibuka and Mustache, they have splashes of their own. Acorn trying to put down the shots to try to minimize the effectiveness of it. They're still in zone. It looks like Acorn has run out of opportunity. He goes down. Malibuka and Mustache take game number 12.
And just like that, the 12 games are over, but your champions of the FNCS Invitational are Seti and Kevin! Congratulations!
With 4 victory royales in this global competition. They didn't change up their strategy too much throughout 12 different games. It didn't matter who VOD reviewed them, because you could have that blueprint, but if you don't know how to execute, it's gonna be all over. And give it up one more time for your FNCS Invitational champions, Seti and Cammy!
Congratulations!
Yeah, from chat, yeah!
An incredible weekend! An incredible opportunity! And they did not miss a beat! This entire room is on their feet, and they deserve every ounce of support here, because these are 2 of the hardest workers we have ever seen. 2 of the hardest players in this space. And you know what? Becoming legends must be so proud. Congrats, Reno.
They became legends for sure on the grandest stage of them all. Emotion, passion running wild.
Yeah!
Let's go into Adam so we can get inside the minds of our champions.
Thank you very much, Cammy and City! Wow, 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 wow. What an incredible, incredible display this weekend. Before we go any further, we must ask, how are you feeling being FNCS Invitational Champions?
Very good. I have no words. We both worked so hard for this, and it's just an amazing moment.
It's amazing. Like, I waited for it so much.
All right, Cammy,
Yeah.
you see Queasy Vino dropping on you. Your teammate goes down. It's a 1v1. What's going through your mind?
Like, I just wanted to eliminate him, and as quick as I can. I don't know, because I was thinking that he's low, but I think he missed one shotgun.
Yeah, let's get
so that's why I killed him.
Seti, I mean, you go down, it's just your teammate, and this is
Yeah.
what makes the difference to win. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I believed in him for like till the end, and he's just an amazing player, and I knew that he's gonna win, and it was just amazing.
You seem incredibly emotional. How does it, I mean, all these people here, these lovely people, we're here to celebrate you guys. It's been not just the last game where we saw the most incredible events. The last 2 days, 4 victory royales, consistency all round, incredible Fortnite for the both of you. I mean, this has been something very, very special.
Yeah.
Elaborate. What have been the most special parts of this? What is it about your teamwork that's really stuck out, which separates you from the rest of the world here at Invitational?
I think it's because we play with each other for the past few years, so we have the chemistry of like gods, and that's it.
Obviously, we could tell the chemistry there, and I feel like there's a lot of chemistry in the audience right now. Is there anything that you want to say to your fans, family, friends, everyone watching around the world?
I want to thank everyone watching from Poland. Polska górą.
And anything else, Seti, you'd like to share with the world?
Yeah, I just want to thank all to like every fan, my parents, my girlfriend, and all the BL boys. Thank you so much.
Amazing stuff. We're going to ask you to lift your trophy one last time. Give it up for your FNCS Invitational 2022 champions, Cammy and City! That was awesome.
Once again, massive congratulations to Cammy and to Seti from one in-person event to another. These guys are racking up accolades like they are eliminations, like they are POIs, like they are notches on the belt. It's nothing to them.
This is Fortnite. This is in-person events. This is FNCS, and I couldn't be more happy for Cammy and Seti. They are some of the hardest workers on the European region, constantly putting in the grind, scrims, zone wars, you name it. They are grinding it, and oh boy, I couldn't be more happy for them.
What a ride. What a ride. 12 games of 4 victory royales, right? We were coming into this event expecting them to play one style. They show us both the amount of preparation that for sure went into this. Look at it. They are holding that right there because of that hard work.
My absolute favorite part, though, aside from that game 12 closer, is just the competitive shock that kind of, you realize it. It's almost like it's still taking time to set in for Cammy and Seti that they are, in fact, the FNCS Invitational champions. And I don't blame them, because when they just kept grinding back to back to back, cranking out all of these games and just never once wavering, it is just so much pressure, and yet they still overcame every single instance of it.
We have an opportunity here to just relive this moment that will, I'm telling you, will go down in Fortnite history.
100%.
We begin the final game of the tournament with these duos tied neck and neck, only leading by 12 points. For Vino and Queasy, they decide, what do we do? Do we play out a 25-minute long game? Do we hope that the RNGs are in our favor? Do we hope that we have the surge? No. Let's take the fight to them at their POI, at their front door.
Huge respect for Vino and Queasy. It takes some courage to land on first place team and do it in that fashion. They knew that that was what it had to be. We know Cami and Seti, they're so effective in that end game. They knew that they weren't gonna go down early, especially looking at their surge, but huge props to Vino and Queasy. They've been one of the most exciting teams to watch. High ground, mid ground, they've dominated it all.
Queasy and Vino definitely earned the respect of the Fortnite community. You can already see it on socials. Everybody's like, wow, respect for that. I mean, from season to season, we have seen this exact same situation. There's a leader, and second place is close behind. I have raised this question multiple times, and every single time everybody turns me down. Do they go and land on the team in second place, or right now vice versa? And everybody's like, no, and it never happens. Queasy and Vino here to change the script, and they try to pull it off in good fashion.
And it's the amount of jitters that goes into these sorts of instances. You can just read the hesitation that was running through both Cami and Vino's minds in this moment. Vino undecided, do I build, do I rush, do I wait? And unfortunately, like Cami, and I believe Cami was the one who mentioned it directly, that it was an unfortunate missed shot there from Vino at the end. But at the same time, I am so glad that they delivered us a finale like that.
Yeah, and we can, of course, like, shout outs to Queasy and Vino. You guys came second place. That is nothing short of amazing. You know, please keep your heads held high because you came in second place against 6 other regions, against your own region. That is a testament to their skill set. Of course, we can't deny, though, Cami Seti, a massive W for them, for this duo. This is what we love to see, but also when we consider the other duos here, PH, Zin, and Vitos. Vamos! Brazil, they had this opportunity. You guys are the MVP of the audience. Take a look at your standings for PH, Zin, and Kitos to climb in a situation where they start all the way in 8th place to watch everyone else around them fall. They say, look, we can make it. Top 5, it's within our grasp, and they do it.
So many people would have counted this duo out. So many would have looked at them and thought, you know what, they're not capable, but they have. They've done it. I was watching some of their VODs going into this. They look strong. They look like a team that's willing to be aggressive, to take this whole tournament by storm, and they have. Look at that, 5th place for PHC and Kitos. They have been some of the most, or the least expected duo to pop off, but they absolutely deserve it.
100%. I loved watching those final moments. I saw 2 duos go down. I was like, wait, they only needed, I think, 3 points to jump up, and sure enough, they do jump into that 5th place spot. So congratulations to PHN and Kitos, top 5 at an international event.
Just a great way to represent your region, and I also loved how well maintained the mindset was there from PH Zin in those final instances, because he was a solo for the latter duration of Game 12, and yet he still managed to stay alive just long enough. He knew that it was within his reach to jump up into that 5th place position, and so just a huge congratulations to him as well to secure it.
If you had asked me, Zeke, how is this event going to go? In fact, Ghost Blake, a player we interviewed, asked me, who do you think is going to win? I said, Queasy Vino, of course. I never would have imagined that this would have all gone down the way it did, that it all culminated in a Game 12. Let's just land right out the beginning and take it all. And for take a look at the prize money, $200,000 going to them. And I want to even look back at PHN and Kitos, right? So going up from 8th to 5th, that's a 30K difference.
It's a huge difference, and that's ultimately what this is all about, right? Those extra placements, those extra points that were being squeezed out of that last game made all of the difference, and that's what this is all about. This is what these final moments are about, and of course, this duo popping off.
You know, I mean, if we're on the Brazilian train, we have to also look at Zeet and KBR, who are also in top 10. Brazil is showing up at the Invitational.
AIM is a universal language, and as far as Brazil is concerned, they have got it locked down. I love it, man.
Guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, we have Queasy and we have Vino. They are standing by. We're going to get their emotional reactions to the end of the competition.
Yes, we do. Queasy, Vino, fellas, thank you for putting on the most unbelievable display these last 2 days. It has been incredible. One of the boldest plays we've seen, I think, ever before. Walk us through the last game and what was going through your minds going into it as well.
I guess Queasy will say it best. Queasy will say it best.
Yeah. So, first of all, I think I was like fully committed to it, and Venno was like, I think his nerves were getting a little bit in, you know, and then he said like, let's do it, and then we just full sent it. We somehow outdropped him. I don't even know, and yeah, then I like made a big mistake. Like I peeked the second guy, which I shouldn't, and then the rest is history.
The rest is history. But what an historical moment it was. I mean, we mustn't deny as well that you put on such a great display this last 2 days. I mean, you must be very proud as well, Vida, of what you boys achieved here at Invitational.
No.
No. You go back to the drawing board. I mean, the thing is, bold play is what it's all about in Fortnite, and you proved that you have that in your locker, and it was incredible.
Yeah. We played well. We could have played better. Seti played amazing. Shout out to Seti and Cammy. They're good friends of mine and Queasy's. There's hope there's no hard feelings there. We tried to make a play there. At the end of the day, they won.
I think one thing we've noticed this week, entire weekend, we've experienced this, is the community, the players, everyone together. I mean, shout out to Cammy and Seti as well. You guys played incredibly, they played incredibly, and it could have gone either way at the end there, Queasy.
Yeah, I agree. It was all up to that last game, but they got the better of us.
Hey, there's always next time. Obviously, this experience as well for you both. I know you must be deflated, but I really appreciate you guys chatting. What's your experience been like, though, with the rest of the players, the audience screaming for you guys? I mean, it must have been such a great experience being here.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I can't wait for the next one.
You can't wait for the next one, Queasy.
It's been amazing.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much once again, Queasy and Vino. Thank you for making this just legendary, boys. Back to the rest of the desk. Thank you so much, boys. Oh, Jakarth.
Are we picking up here? It's our turn to go ahead and say, again, big shout outs and thanks. Honestly, they moved so not only graciously in the interview, like it's a tough position to be in, but at the end of the day, they allowed themselves to make history. They did something that I don't think many people will have the heart to do.
Yeah, much respect to those guys. Gracious in defeat. These guys are humble. These guys came here to win, and even though they didn't, I can guarantee you they're still leaving with a smile on their face. They're still leaving with their heads held high. Every single person should, including your FNCS Invitational champions, Cammy and Seti from Become Legends. You got to think Reno at home is probably laughing and screaming and all of these emotions running through him as well.
And I'll say it for him. I know he wanted to be here. He couldn't make the trip, but I'm sure he is so elated right now. Listen, Cammy and Seti, these guys drill at the facilities day in, day out, and you heard what they said. They have been playing together for 3 years. This type of competition that they were able to put up these numbers against is no simple task, and they did it. And they haven't just been doing it here, they've been doing it everywhere.
Yeah, and they do it from their own POI season after season. They create their own luck. But that's going to be it from me and Monster D-Face. Dreams do come true, but back to the desk.
Goodbye, guys. I think it's over yet.
Thank you so much. Monster D-Face, Jacob PR. What an amazing set of casts out of the two of you. 12 games, and my goodness, unlike anything we have ever experienced in our life. You'll love to see it. I gotta say, after 2 days of the FNCS Invitational, once again, several countries represented, 47 FNCS champions, 88 titles, you know. This was some of the best Fortnite we've ever seen. Some of the most hype plays, the highest highs, the lowest lows. It had it all.
7 different regions, 27 unique countries competing here today. Seti and Cammy were the ones that lifted the trophy up, but this is the start of a storyline for Vino and Queasy. They got second place. It's an amazing accomplishment, but I feel like this is a start for these players. They want that trophy. They want to lift it up, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the future.
100%, that's what it's all about. For those that were here competing, right? They got a taste of it. They got to witness somebody lift that trophy up right in front of them. I'm sure all of them want to feel that tenfold. Yeah, just shout out to the players. You know, these international events, we were talking about stats from, you know, throwback to World Cup at this event. That event was 3 years ago, which is why we're talking about history being made right here.
From the moment that we did the player walkouts with the actual crowd in the venue, that was the instance where I think you could really see all of the excitement being read in these duos' faces, and all of the players, regardless of their placements, they were just so happy to be here. It was just so obvious how locked into the competition they were, how much they wanted to just proudly represent their region and just showcase the fact that they are capable of competing. And I love seeing this international debut.
That's right. I mean, that's such a great point, right? To just be able to come here and just say like, hey, I'm repping this region. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's incredible, you know? And sure, maybe a duo didn't land exactly where they wanted, but these are some of the very best across 7 regions that were all brought to one stage to compete. Here in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Raleigh Convention Center, amongst fans, I mean, y'all truly put on some of the greatest Fortnite, I'm telling you. Please hold your heads high wherever you landed. You deserve it. And I'm telling you, even if it's not where you want, come back. We'll do this again soon, and we'll absolutely put on some more Fortnite action. Before we say goodbye, are we got any more closing thoughts? Oh, Kelly, are you gonna stand up here? Kelly, okay. Yeah, hi.
Why not?
Hello. Yeah, come on. Sure, why not? You're pointing at me? Yeah, why not? Tokata, yeah, you guys can stand here.
Am I still gonna be here?
Yeah, we're all here. Right. Mini Miner, you might as well come up here, my friend.
Okay.
My goodness. Let's get final thoughts real quick. Taco, go from you, then we'll end back over here.
I've just absolutely loved every single moment so far, and I truly cannot wait for the next Fortnite event.
Shout out to the crowd. The crowd was amazing. Every single time Adam hyped them up, every time anybody hyped them up, anytime anything happened on the screen, they were all out of their seats cheering for everybody. Loved that, and the players were also great as well.
Yeah, this was incredible, right? You guys did an amazing job here on the desk as well. Big shout out to Monster and Jacob as well, who crushed it on the casting front as well. And Z, leading the charge, my friend, smashed it. Absolutely amazing.
I had to just come up here because this has been such an incredible experience with all of you guys, and I wanted to enjoy this last moment with everyone. It's been such a journey.
It really has.
It's so exciting. In person, again, the excitement's at another level. You said it all, though. I don't want to repeat you guys. It's really been an amazing experience.
That's right. To all of you, the fans, this is not possible without all of you. That wraps up 2022. We're now kind of winding down into the off season of the FNCS, but listen, if you want to be on the next FNCS stage, your journey will begin February 2023. Now, if you want to keep up to date, FN Competitive over on Twitter and Instagram, great place to keep up to date. Until then, we love you. Happy holidays, and we'll see you on the battle bus.
Beep,
beep.
Bye, guys.